And we're back, guys. So this is episode 3.5 now of 60 Grit Radio. A little technical difficulty there, but we're back on deck here. I think we're just going to start by rewatching that video because.
We have an extended version just of what Hillary's part in it, not of the preamble, not Bill telling lies about his marriage, just what she had to say, and just a close up of her face. Reminding me of, honestly, it kind of felt like I was watching a sequel to V for Vendetta there for a second. But we'll see. Maybe I'm the only one. Oh, look, Poppy. And then Bill. Oh, what a legacy.
I had to give him a legacy. That's what that movie.
No, they're all on there. Well, that'll be fair. Oh, no, they're not.
Always breaking glass with her face. So her face just appeared on screen and glass broke again. That's 2 videos I've seen of this now.
Yeah, no, this is the same video. It's just a longer version of her speech. This is like all of her speech.
Okay.
So yeah, this is. Yeah, it's all entertainment. Look at that crowd; they're loving it. They're dancing. That's what the national conventions are weird to me. Like they play music, they get everybody fired up and hyped.
It's funny
so that way the
crowd
speeches sound better than they really are.
Have you ever seen those? Like this is
She talking over a beat. Stare into those eyes, man.
Oh, really?
So it might have been the exact same video, but the reason I wanted that one is because it was the TV feed that was zoomed in right on her face. So it was really like just the whole screen was her face that entire time.
And when you stared into her eyes, what did you see?
Oh, man. I just felt like she was looking into my soul. But no, it creeped me out. It reminded me of V for Vendetta or... like some dystopian future.
Where the talking head is on the screen.
With just a constant TV following me around.
It's terrifying how they have the stage set up, and I get that's kind of so people way back can see her, but the way she shatters through the glass, I can just picture that on 50 different TVs all around me and her face coming up.
Yeah, and then I heard about this game, watched a video about this game yesterday, called We Happy Few, about some dystopian alternate future in England in the 70s where there's a little TV, a talking head that follows them around. And then here I am watching it in real freaking life, man.
Yeah, I watched this on my cell phone, so that's even like we brought the screens with us. They don't have to follow us around. We just carried it.
Yeah, it's just funny to me how weird this stuff is getting, and I feel like it's funny because I'm scared.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wonder how much of that shit was paid for. None of it could have been paid for by PAC money. That all has to be private contributions to the DNC. PAC money is not allowed to go to the campaign directly.
Yeah, I don't think money's an issue anymore.
It's incredible to me the amount they'll spend on this shit. Like, is that necessary in today's, era?
Oh, absolutely it is.
I'm making fun of Gary Johnson's ad,
and that's back, honestly, that's sort of my point now. It's got to just be a big show by now. Right? Come on. This shouldn't be necessary to get you to pay attention to your election. Yeah. That's not what it shouldn't take drums and a pyramid-shaped platform with a big screen TV on the top.
It's showmanship.
It shouldn't take all this showmanship and all this excess. It's supposed to be, you're just supposed to be able to vote. It doesn't need to be this whole thing, this whole big televised event that makes money. That's the thing people forget. This is making a lot of money when it goes on television like that.
Talk about making a lot of money. I think part of the reason the fucking Clintons don't like the super PACs or might go against the super PACs, and we'll talk a little bit, or we got an article to show, unless you had something to say there and I cut you off. But basically, like, I think they want the money to have to go to their foundation or to their political fund. And, like, I think because super PACs can't actually coordinate with the campaign, and I mean, we've seen the DNC coordinate media coverage. Just read the emails that are leaked, which I don't have you gotten to those.
No.
Okay, well, they're definitely, like, there's emails out there about them, like, having to send their own, like, interns to protest or not even bothering with them because not enough people turn out. But, which is hilarious. But and then the same emails are talking about Hillary being the assumed or presumed nominee or presumptive nominee. But, yeah, like, I think they want more of the money to have to go to the campaign directly or to their political fund, which is buying them the same way if you, or not their political fund, but the Clinton Foundation. Like, okay, so there's a foundation they can directly put money into, and the Clintons can take money out of. So a true, like, liberal Democrat that's afraid of them can just choose not to give their money to super PACs and give it straight to the campaign. Because they're not afraid of them. At least the super PACs have to, like, stay away from that.
Yeah.
But actually, we should just go ahead and bring up that article.
The article next?
Yeah. So this is some recent Hillary Clinton propaganda, I would assume. I mean, I guess I can't prove that she wanted it released, but it's definitely a pro-anti-PAC, which is a liberal stance for sure. Although Hillary's gotten a lot more PAC money than good old Trump has. So the headline is just, coal company donated $100,000 to PAC. They announced 4,400 layoffs the next day. And, okay, like, what are you supposed to read from that? What do you get from that headline? Like, what do you think the person that reads that's going to automatically think?
He took my job!
Basically, or he took somebody else's fucking job. But that's essentially like that knee-jerk reaction you're going to get from it. A Republican's going to just fucking put their head down and be like, and the fucking liberal's going to be like, oh, that dirty son of a bitch, he's taking fucking... But, a super PAC isn't ran by Trump. That's a PAC for Trump. So Trump doesn't really have any fucking ties to this other than, like, they're running a campaign to help his campaign. But they're not putting money in his pocket. But not only that, for $100,000, you could hire maybe 1.5 coal miners. Like, they don't make bad money. I get the poor coal miner idea, but I've been in enough of their houses and saw them. Like, they do all right when there's jobs. But how many of them... Again, 1.5, I'd say you could probably for $100,000. Maybe not even that when you count in if they get benefits and then insurance on them and shit like that. I bet that's one fucking coal miner, $100,000. And how much of that money is fucking regulation that's pushing them out?
Right.
Or the fucking EPA regulations that are increasing the cost of productivity. That's 4,400 people that for at one point or another, for some fucking reason, had jobs that were making a company money to give them jobs. It's not like the company doesn't want to employ these people anymore. Like, are you telling me that's 4,400 people because of a fucking new computer that came out? No, that's jobs that they can't afford to give you anymore. So yeah, that's a fucking solid investment if fucking Hillary Clinton's out there proactively saying there's going to be a lot of coal companies I push out of business. I'd fucking put my money in this guy too. That's one person I can hire if he gets elected. Hopefully he restricts them enough that I can hire back these other guys. So, as much as I hate on Trump, I would do the exact fucking same thing. That's a solid fucking investment for $100,000. Because how many people are you going to reach with that $100,000 if you run one ad?
Yeah.
More than that one fucking employee's vote mattered.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense to me, but they're going to spin it like, oh, it's a bad thing. That's why I'm cool with super PACs. I don't give a fuck about them. They have their own agenda, and you know it. Like, when they're donating to the Clinton Foundation or directly donating to the fucking campaign itself, you can't even trust that campaign is what your nominee or the guy you want running is about. Look at fucking Sanders getting dicked over directly by PAC money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's what I get.
Which, man, I hate to be a downer on Bernie, but I don't. I wish he had not caved and not backed what he claimed to be 100% against.
Oh,
and urge his supporters to do the same.
I'm glad he's out of the election.
I mean,
if he would have ran third party, it would have been enough. I hope I didn't cut you off there, but if he would have ran third party, he would have been a distraction. But he wouldn't still not have gotten enough votes to get the election, and he would have been somebody they both could have fucking targeted so hard. At least now we have to focus on two people. And, I mean, Gary Johnson may still have to – he doesn't really have to win the Libertarians. So I think he's going to play a little bit of both fields. But the things they're going to poke out are, like, the same issues I have. The things he beats them on are very obvious. I mean, at least he says the right things, you know what I mean? So hopefully he gets a few eyes on it. But Sanders was saying all the wrong things, and his voters didn't care.
Yeah, I mean – this story, too, going back to this and what you were saying about, how the spin's going to be, and this is some classic clickbait right here. It kind of just goes along with the fact that this whole horse and pony show is allowed. We got this way by not paying attention to things like that. Like, the common person should be able to look at that and have an idea of how those numbers don't match up to the, somebody sees, $100,000 is a lot of money, and then they see 4,000 layoffs.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's because they gave them that $100,000, and it's like, well, that's not possible. It had to be much more than that to lay off that many employees.
Definitely.
But nobody's going to see that, and they're going to look, and that's why Gary is a threat right now, because there are a lot of people that aren't really paying attention.
But
they just want to hear
what
they
want to hear. Carbon taxes and all kinds of. So if he calls them out on that bullshit, they're going to knock him right down instantly because he's been for this. Talk about fucking. A lot of people were pro Bernie and anti Clinton because they're not cool with the fucking backdoor trade deals and the TPP. Both Trump has said he was for and Clinton has said she was for. That's the one thing Hillary had against him, or not Hillary, but Bernie had against them. Fucking Johnson is okay with the TPP. Okay, and I'm not even saying the TPP is necessarily a bad thing if it didn't have a government stamp on it enforcing those regulations with a gun. If you want to have your own fucking control, or not control, but if you want to create your own trade deals with other companies, that's completely fine with me. But not when it's the government saying you have to abide by these rules set up by this industry to keep other industry out. I can't even think of the fucking word for it when, money runs the political system, or a bunch of businesses do. Shit.
Oh, there's...
What the fuck is that word? Kind of an oligarchy?
Yeah.
I guess is the closest.
It's called people call it with the corporatocracy.
Okay, yeah. Right. Which is what people think when you say you're libertarian, you're for that.
Some people call it the Illuminati. Just depends on what circle you're running in. What my research tends to show me is that so often it's usually just you're being spoon-fed what you already think and believe, and you got that way one way or the other, but it's just everything's already there just to reinforce what you think, like this article right here.
I've read more of the article. I'm kind of curious if it dives into anything.
Paying off bankruptcy.
So yeah, it's all just, the entire article is basically a hit piece on them for doing it. It doesn't give you any information. It says, I think later in the article, it says that they declined interview from the newspaper itself. So the company refused to comment on the piece. But if I was the company, I would have just came out and said what I just said. I could barely hire one person for the amount of money that
someone does.
When asked for Murray Energy declined to comment. However, Murray has endorsed Trump and continues to back him.
Oh, the company said. Well, somebody said what you wanted. Yeah.
Trump for president over Hillary. Oh, do they actually come out?
Somebody said it. It wasn't Murray, but someone said it for him.
She's
gonna put a lot of pressure on coal miners. Yeah.
Shit, I didn't even. Yeah, I definitely just my entire show tonight is this article. Whoops. But essentially, yeah, good. I'm glad somebody came out and said that because but that's not what the headline how far down in this article is that?
You have to go past the advertisement, so it's very deceiving.
And I constantly hate on people for only reading ads, but I already want to get mad at this magazine because that's all the headline.
But that's how you play both sides of the fence right there, because you get your clickbait, they get here, they read, this far down until they see the ads and they think it's over. Boom, because of it's even phrased for you to think that it's over. Decline to comment. Well, I guess when the back end, the company said, okay, so they do at least, I was wrong there.
It's 2 ads. It's 2 full banners.
But yeah, then there's 2 full banners, and then once you get past that, you read it and you get the full story, which gives you a much different perspective on it. Yeah, it plays both perspectives on you, so either way you're getting what you want.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
It's part of, it's.
I still don't get what I want out of that.
Well,
you don't. You're still constantly like hitting on him for like his stance. It's after the company's quote on Trump. It seems to be going back to the amount of money they spent on lobbying so far. Like, you know what I mean? They definitely take the last word and turn it into 3 paragraphs about it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well,
maybe I'm wrong, but I guess it kind of talks about the national. But when they're talking about the national, the reason I see that as a negative, they're talking about natural gas production being like cheaper and how Obama is like tried to use it to damage coal mining. Mm-hmm. Again, that's them subsidizing an industry. So then you're fucking hitting the taxpayer for money to put into industry that isn't being like the free market doesn't want it. Obviously, it's not out there. Coal is cheaper. So they got to fucking make us pay a little extra for it through taxes and then what we pay for the product. And then on top of that, they're putting people out of work for it. And they're calling it a win. So you're paying for this shit twice when you have to buy it, when they tax you for the subsidy, or they'll call that a corporate loophole, but that kind of loophole will not come out. There's no way. That lobby holds way too much interest in these Democrats. And fracking, isn't that where most of this natural gas boom's coming from? But they want to hate on it and at the same time subsidize it. And the money might not go straight to the companies, but I guarantee you it's finding its way down.
Oh, yeah. I don't disagree with anything that you said. Did you have, I think, another article, right?
I don't remember, but we'll find out. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. We just can bring up an article that kind of substantiates what I was just saying. This is Pennsylvania and the amount of money that they've paid for the natural gas industry. I can't remember the exact number. But
money on $200 million a year is what I'm saying. But either way, so here's an article for you guys to look at as well that it's saying the same thing that you're saying, and
yeah, but they want to blame they just want to blame the PAC money for it. They don't want to blame the lobbies that are in their interest.
They want to blame the donation money.
Because they can knock their own competition out by doing that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think even though Hillary's gotten so much fucking PAC money, she's still willing to hate on him because it's obviously been more Republican interests they've gotten so far. And Obama won with less PAC contributions. So they know it's not a necessity, but it's definitely can put a damper. And if articles like what we're reading here got the headlines instead on your Facebook feed instead. But this here doesn't even really draw the comparison between that and the jobs lost because of them making it too expensive to produce coal by making you pay more for natural gas. They don't talk about that at all. But
I get exactly where you're going with it. Yeah, and unfortunately, you probably won't see too many articles about that. I'm sure there's somewhere to be found.
Probably on like the libertarian Facebook pages out there or newspapers. I wish I knew some off the top of my head.
But not Gary's. No, maybe Gary's.
And the problem is a lot of them are fucking endorsing him because they just want to see a libertarian in office.
I think there's a lot of people,
that the stage
just don't want Hillary or Trump.
Yeah.
And they're sitting around thinking, now what in the hell just happened?
I think they're setting it up for the fucking Libertarian Party convention to look like the Democratic Party's convention next season. Because you're going to have, if people buy into him, you're going to have a bunch of new interested youngins coming in thinking libertarianism is something that's completely not. And then they're going to want to take over the party and say that's what it is. And you're going to have all the old timers saying, no, this is what the party is. But I don't know if they have a superdelegate process to keep the youngins from pushing out the people that don't believe in the initiation of force.
I could see, so that is the thing that exactly what, all right, give me a second. What I think kind of relates to what you said. I think if that should become a third party, that it would almost immediately be infiltrated by.
Why they happen by their own hand?
Well, because of Gary not really being on point, apparently. But that's when I say infiltrated, I don't necessarily mean like other parties are gonna send in spies, but there will be these people coming in with their own ideals because they just want to be anti-establishment, and then it's sort of depending on who takes what position in that new party, it can really shape what it turns into. And so it could sabotage itself quite easily if it does. That's at least the stage. It's kind of like how infants are more susceptible to getting sick.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you're figuring things out, it's a lot easier to go the wrong direction.
Maybe that's where they ended up with Bill Weld, though. Like, because that was clearly money interest within the party, like, wanting to promote a guy into the VP. And Gary Johnson basically begged for him to be the VP, all for money interest. So there's already that divide in there, but enough people still want the message to get out that they're willing to endorse him. I mean, Austin Peterson was his direct competitor. And, like, on stage, he got a little belligerent with him about, like, you don't know anything about the party, essentially. Like, and, like, it might have been the Penn Jillette. It might have been the Penn Jillette interview, but I don't think it was. I think it was prior to that one. And they had to, like, kind of bring him back in line. But did you see the revolver incident with Gary Johnson? To bring up more old news, if you want to try and find that video.
No, I did not. I mean, I will. I'll try to find it.
The revolver thing isn't a video, but what happened there was at the end of a debate, I think it was after the concession. So, like, basically Austin Peterson, like, says, you won the nomination. I believe this is when it happened. And, like, after he, like, presents him with his, like, concession, he hands him, like, a model revolver. And fucking Gary Johnson throws it in the trash where he knows people will see it in the trash. And, yeah, like, that's the kind of fucking dude he is. He's not...
Oh, he tossed his gift. That's the first thing that pops up when you type...
I was talking about the
debate. Is this... I think that might... I might need to...
Libertarian questions Gary Johnson.
Yeah,
or Austin Peterson questions Gary Johnson is what I should have said. But, yeah, I don't know. That's just, like, more character flaws I see with Gary Johnson that could easily come out on stage. And fucking neither of the Clintons that I can recall have a federal budget that or neither the people that are campaigning Trump or Clinton can, like, recall a budget.
Would it maybe be under Austin Peterson's on stage meltdown?
Maybe. Let's just watch that.
3 minutes. Hang on. But first of all, I gotta go back to the beginning.
And who put this out? It was on the Blaze, but I wonder who released the video.
Gotta get this prepped and ready. So let's see. I really hope this is him yelling at Gary, saying the things that you just told me. Yeah.
This is why I liked it, Austin Peterson. He would explain to you why you disagreed with him and why he thought you were still wrong. Like, he wouldn't just be like, no, like, this is a good thing to believe. He would tell you why it was a moral principle and why he thinks you would be on board if you just thought about it.
Okay.
But that's why I like Austin Peterson. But go on, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's fair.
But that doesn't mean that I condone hatred. You should be allowed to choose what you do with your life and body as you see fit. I'm always happy whenever anyone finds love. And when it comes to marriage contracts, we all, according to the Constitution, have the same religious communities. So I absolutely support the right of gays to get married, and we should protect that via the 14th Amendment. So I protect religious rights and I protect gay rights, and that's the kind of country that I want to live in.
He explains it.
Freedom laws are really just a way to discriminate against gay individuals, LGBT community. That's what they are about. And I don't think that the Libertarian Party should in any way be engaged in condoning discrimination of any kind.
He just said he wasn't condoning discrimination. He literally just said that wasn't his lifestyle.
I like the screenshots of people that are on TV that they keep cutting to.
The fact.
Watch them catch him off guard there. Can you back it up? Or can I back it up here?
Yeah, go for it.
Are being passed right now. Is the government really supposed to make this to discriminate, though, Governor?
Fuck, I'm sorry, guys. I just really wanted to get this.
Doesn't liberty mean the freedom to discriminate, though, Governor? shouldn't we be free to discriminate? Is the government really supposed to make it something better? The fact.
Gary Johnson takes so long.
The fact of the matter is that these laws that are being passed right now are all about discriminating against gays. The fact is that Austin gave an answer that.
Hang on. He literally. I can go back again. Everything he said before he said, and Austin has an answer. All he did was he just pulled a Marco Rubio, and all he did was literally he restarted his original speech from beginning to end. That was his response, was just to repeat the same soundbite, and that's the bullshit that I'm tired of seeing.
Fucking keyword.
That's
fucking
why I won't
politics.
ever trust a senator again. It's bullshit, and I'm tired of seeing it. And I guess fair enough, you got put on the spot at a debate. Maybe that's what you do. But we see it too often.
Do you think it wasn't like fucking Austin Peterson was put on the spot there? He had the moral argument against it ready. Gary Johnson doesn't want to have to fucking think about this shit. Austin Peterson's like, no, hold up, think about this shit. Gary Johnson's first instinct is keywords, keywords, keywords. What is my campaign about? What do they want to hear me say?
Go back to the cue card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he just ends up basically, like you were saying, rehashing the fucking beginning. Do you want to show it again just so you can show that it's the fucking... Why not?
Why not? Let's see, where were we?
Just a way to discriminate.
Okay.
Just freedom laws. I protect religious rights and I protect gay rights. And that's the kind of country.
All right, wait for this.
Just freedom laws are really just a way to discriminate against gay individuals, LGBT community. That's what they are about. And I don't think that the Libertarian Party should in any way.
All right, you remember that? Got
These
that
laws
the
are
first.
just about...
Yep, you got the first little bit. Remember there?
Building discrimination.
I'm just gonna let it play through rather than jump around.
Already paused it.
Yeah, sensitive keyboard thing. Pawn Stars.
Doesn't liberty mean the freedom to discriminate, though, Governor? Shouldn't we be free to discriminate? Is the government really supposed to make this something better? The fact of the matter is that these laws that are being passed right now are all about discriminating against gays.
Boom.
The fact is, and
I think he goes on to
Austin
say...
gave an answer that really kind of belays what he had been saying up until this point. But it's always been about the Nazi cake baker. Look, listen, you don't even understand the law. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 does not create Nazis. I would have signed the Civil Rights Bill of 1964. Austin would not have signed the Civil Rights Act.
Let me give him a soundbite.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964 has a Title II section of it which you do not understand because National Socialism is not a protected class. You're running for commander-in-chief. You should understand the law. Now, when it comes to discrimination, yes, you should be free to discriminate, but that does not mean that we promote hatred. My question to you is, Governor, do you think that priests should be forced to marry gay couples? Do you think that the Libertarian Party should take up the banner of supporting legislation?
Getting worried about the soundbite.
Well, calm down a little bit. Let me chance to talk to you.
You
Do
tell
you
him,
think that the Libertarian
fucking
Party
magician.
should be sponsoring legislation that will allow for discrimination that currently does not exist? I have a difference of opinion. The Libertarian Party should not be supporting legislation that would in fact allow for discrimination. I'm going to give you just 10 seconds. I'm going to have to finish right there. So we just keep going back and forth. So give it 10 seconds. Right. The argument that liberals make is that they don't understand the difference between government and society. Because the truth is that private individuals should be free to discriminate, but government should not.
So, exactly. And that is a great place to end it. That guy was obviously pro Austin Peterson there. But again, the entire clip is Austin giving an actual argument. Take this to its logical conclusion. Think about it. And Gary Johnson's just Austin Peterson wouldn't have signed this. So that'll be hopefully the headline that comes out. But luckily he's don't put words in my mouth. So it's hard to snip that video.
Yeah.
But but now that same man, Austin Peterson, promotes him all the time on his Facebook.
Yeah.
All the fucking time.
It's ridiculous. Everybody bows down eventually, apparently. I mean, same thing with Bernie. Nobody thought he was going to do that. Well, not nobody.
What fucking message does he think is going to get out there? He's already poking the holes in it. Like, and fucking Trump is going to bring up that exact same argument.
Didn't you have a Bernie video? Did you want
to? It's a 22-minute video. So it was just, if we didn't have shit to talk about, I had the entire Bernie endorsement of Hillary Clinton.
Ooh,
it's
that would
22 minutes long.
That would be a little hard to swallow, I think.
Well, it was there if it got real rough.
But so now he endorses him. He claims that he didn't understand the law and he shouldn't be the commander-in-chief, which he was, in my opinion, he was doing a great job at that debate, because at least his material felt a little less prepared. He seemed to be doing better on his feet, or at least he wasn't saying the same soundbite over and over again. And I always appreciate a guy who, in a debate, is, as you said, seeing the thought through, kind of walking through his why he thinks that way, and through kind of the steps of his thinking.
Yeah.
Because then, even if you don't agree with it, it allows you to understand how he got there and why he gets there.
Yeah, and then you have to, the next argument he would make, if you like pursue it any further and you're looking up arguments against this, the next argument he's going to make is, okay, so is it okay to use force? Okay, is it okay to hold a gun to somebody? Would you hold a gun to somebody's head and tell them they had to bake that cake? Or you're kidnapping them and surrounding them by dangerous criminals? Like, are you willing to do that? That is the next logical conclusion to that. So if you tell me that you are pro anti-discrimination laws, which allow people to freely discriminate, those laws were not, the ones I read, I could be wrong, there could be some out there that it specifically targeted the LGBTs. But what I understand, those laws were strictly to basically uphold the 14th Amendment. Yeah, I hope I quoted the right amendment. But essentially keeping the government from discriminating against people. But the other way, too, to where you can't force somebody to act against their own personal beliefs. So, like, the government can't come to your house and do that, which was, to me, the other side of the 14th Amendment. But protected classes come in there, and then you have hate crimes and shit like that. So it's a little fucking wonky. But either way, these laws here were to basically say you're free to deny anybody your business or your patronage. So I don't even understand how you can be against that. Like, do you think a bunch of Nazis are going to move into your town and, like, close shit down for everybody else? Do you think that's the, like, information that's going to take hold? Like, I think we're a little bit beyond that being, like, a thing.
Yeah, and I see it sometimes as, like, it feels like a double-sided coin, because everybody wants freedom of choice, but then, so it's, you want to be able to have the freedom to go and buy this thing, but you want the person selling it to not have the freedom to be able to tell you no.
Exactly.
And I don't understand.
On the other hand,
go ahead.
Shouldn't you be free to, like, if a Nazi walks in your business and says, print me off, because there's still fucking places this happens, but print me off the fucking 1,000 of these posters, and you see that they're fucking Nazi propaganda, like, do you really want to have to print those? Shouldn't you be able to deny him that ability?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
you should.
Find somebody else that agrees with you with a printer, man. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not helping you.
Yeah, there's other places to go.
Like, at the same time, if you were, like, how is that any different than a pastor being like, you can find other people and they're going to marry you, but I'm just not about that. And
I don't see how it's different.
Fucking marriage is a contract unless taxes are involved. So, like, fucking sign a contract anywhere the fuck you want. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, if somebody doesn't want to be, like, the person to put their stamp of approval on that, like, that's their fucking prerogative. Like, I wouldn't want somebody's stamp of approval from somebody that thinks I'm going to burn in hell forever. Like, I don't want you to tell me, like, I don't want your help. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to hand my money there. Maybe, like, they're just lazy. Like, bake your own fucking cake if it comes down to it. It's not that fucking...
Just, exactly. That's, you have... what you want is your freedom of choice, but instead what you're doing is you're actually taking it away. And you don't realize that you're taking it away. It's like, well, I want my freedom of choice. I want to be able to do this. Well, you can. Just go somewhere where you can. And allow that person to have the freedom of choice to tell you no, because they're a person too. And part of our problem is we watch too many movies and we just walk through life seeing as we're the protagonist in some film. and we're just right all the time, and everybody's out to get us.
Facebook.
And yeah, so maybe that's why we fail so often to see it from the other person's perspective, or to see it from the other side. And that's where I get with certain legislations too, where I'm like, well, man, yeah, on one end this is good, but what happens if you look at it from the other side? But I just, it makes me uncomfortable. I feel like people think they're getting one thing, and in reality, they'll eventually find out they've done the opposite to themselves. And it's going to be probably when it's too late, based on what I'm watching
unfold
from this election.
Yeah.
And
imagine these hate speech laws get stronger and stronger, and eventually they can lock you up for saying something. It's not just you can't deny somebody your business, because what is the transaction other than speech? Like, yes, I want this cake more than you want that dollar. You want, like, you know what I mean? So, like, what if it comes down to speech in itself? Like, and I can see it getting there, because they're directly going to say that these people that don't want to serve these people are hearing it over this and that. What if politicians and political movements become a protected class? Like, you can't even. That's how you get.
Exactly.
If you want to back it all the way up to conspiracy theory, like, that is how you would be able to lock up dissent real quick.
Yeah.
As soon as just let them cross over each other, the hate speech laws and then these protected class laws. Because they're going to say that guy said faggot before the fucking bombing next time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be like, oh, that if you put that on the internet, now that's hate speech. Now you're a terrorist.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They just have to pick that word. And terrorism's been so broad, that's how we're still at war with it, that they can do that shit.
War that won't ever end.
Fuck. It could end. I kind of think Trump might end it if he got in office.
I don't know. I don't.
He wants that money here, I think. He's got interest. He's got his money already here. I think he wants that money back at home.
I'm starting to think that all the world's a stage are the truest words ever spoken.
No doubt, but somebody's still running the show, and I think part of his show would be...
His show would be...
It's my favorite fucking...
I don't know, man. He's a businessman.
Yeah, so I think that's a good thing in a lot of ways, and that scares the shit out of me, because I tend to lean with some of his leanings because of it. But I think that war isn't good business unless you're in the war business, and I haven't seen any numbers pointing to him having any interest in anything military. He has real estate, and real estate doesn't do well when all the fucking housing markets are crashed and we're still propping up wars overseas. So if he's really in his own pocket and he's in the interest of that, it's still basically anti-war.
Yeah.
The only issue is the VP that's running with him, it was pro-war for a very long time. So, any hope of that being with him is kind of spooked off.
Such an odd choice.
It is, but look at what Cheney did to Bush. Bush was anti-interventionist. I believe Cheney talked Bush into a lot of shit. So I kind of think that Cheney was in his ear, and that Bush is just a old drunk bastard that's easily terrified. And the way he said terrorist just rang in his ears just as well as it did ours.
Terrorist.
The terrorist? That is something a Bush can get.
Terrorist.
How easy is that to hate? I feel like we just went off on a little rant there.
Those are some of my favorite clips, are just of George W. Bush. When people edit in only the times he said terrorist in a speech, and it goes on for a really long time.
Wasn't there a South Park episode that made fun of that?
Probably.
And it was just that's how she got I think it was Family Guy.
It was Family Guy.
Yeah, and Brian wins the election by just saying terrorism.
Yeah, saying 9/11.
9/11, okay.
Answering every question with 9/11.
Yeah. Shit, I think we could probably wrap up about here. We've definitely done well over an hour between the two.
All right, well, thanks for having me on.
No sweat. This has been a lot of fun. This is 60 Grit Radio. We're on the Bad Dinner Guest Network, and we'll catch you next Wednesday.